Perfect. We are live. Welcome everyone to the Point Three Podcast YouTube live stream. Your favorite trio of hosts: Spider Brando, Funko Lou, Hero Scroll. Gentlemen, how are we feeling today?
We're good, man. It's the start of Batman week here at Point Three Podcast. We're just talking Batman, and it's going to be a great Batman day and Batman week and Batman.
Batman
Batman
life.
this, Batman that. We live in the Bat life.
Yeah.
Only
can
we were
we-
Bruce Wayne.
Listen, I wish. Fun fact, everyone. I don't know if we threw this out there yet. Batman is my favorite superhero of all time. Of all time, over Spider-Man, over Wolverine. I've been looking forward to this. So when this idea came up, I was beyond excited. Beyond.
Yeah,
I never
I think he's my third.
Oh, who are the
Who's
first
your
two?
second?
I'm going to put Spider-Man and genuinely Thor. Thor in recent years has come up for me a lot personally, and I
Okay.
will consume a lot of Thor things. But Batman is like, if Thor is 2, it's by like 1 point. And I feel like it's because I've read more Thor stuff than I have Batman.
Sure.
And I could easily switch it up if I read more Batman stuff.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Thor the first comic? What run was it that you've been referencing a run lately?
The Donny Cates Thor. Yeah.
Yeah, is that what got you in the comics?
That's the main one, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So I think that's why,
I
for
like
me
that.
personally. But yeah, no, Batman's still up there, and I think there's an argument that he could be the greatest superhero of all time.
Ooh.
You know, and when people say that, yeah, and I was gonna say when people say that Batman is, I never fault them for it, because it's like, yeah, there's a lot of reasons for it. So
Who's more influential for you guys, Superman or Batman?
Batman. I think we all wanted to be Batman at one point and played the games and everything, right?
When someone did me wrong at school, I was like, I am vengeance. I am the
Yep.
knight.
Bro, yo, I have one of I am wearing a Batman Joker shirt right now. I got this for the gym. But I have this other Robert Pattinson Batman shirt that legit says I am vengeance on there. And when I'm at the gym, I feel like vengeance in that outfit. It's beautiful.
Just let someone be
Absolutely.
like, are you still on this? Be like, but anyways, listen, we have something really cool on the screen. So we're gonna throw us a hero scroll. What are we doing here today?
So today, if you are an OG Point 3 podcast listener, you'll know that one of our earliest episodes was a Spider-Man tier list. We did it. We took a bunch from the games, the comics, the movies, and we threw them into a tier list. We're doing it again in celebration of Batman week. Saturday is the Batman day. So everybody get hyped up for that. So we're talking about Batman suits. So we're going to make a tier list, as you see up on the screen. Our S tier is 0.3 certified, which is when we are in agreement, all three of us. Then you got your A tier, your B tier, your C tier, and then what the heck is this, which is essentially your D tier suits. I'll be honest, this was not easy to make. We made this one. There was tough choices to be made as to who got in and who we leave for a part 2. And to preface, we are focusing only on Bruce Wayne Batman suits. So all of these at one point were worn by Bruce Wayne or originated. I know that some people might be looking at Batman Beyond, but if you remember in the first episode of the series, Bruce Wayne is the one that wears a suit. So, you know, we can, we can throw that
loopholes,
in there.
baby, loopholes.
So, you know, Thomas Wayne, I know a lot of people probably are excited, but he is not in this specific tier list.
Didn't we just see him in the Flash?
Psych. You thought.
If only.
You thought. The one you saw in the Flash is in this tier list, though. But we took these in a combination of comics, live action movies, video games, and some animation. So, we're going to have fun with these. And a cool thing is that a few of these were actually submitted in from our listeners over on our Discord. So if you are not yet, then you have to join the Point 3 Podcast Discord, because you get to do fun things like this with us, because everybody over there knew about this beforehand. So
Yeah. Insider scoop, baby.
insider
All the Bat
scoop.
fans showing out. I'm ready.
Absolutely. So a quick
Maybe just
rundown.
Batman watch party.
We do, because there's a lot of them that we can,
Yeah, there's a lot.
that we can talk about. So a quick run through of who we have in the tier list, just to quickly introduce them, and then we'll go one by one, talk about them. We have Batman Beyond, we have Gotham Gaslight, we have the Hellbat armor, we have Injustice 2 Batman, we have Jim Lee's Batman, the Nightmare Batman from the DCEU, we have the infamous Batnips with everybody's favorite Batman after the Flash, George Clooney. We have the Batman, Robert Pattinson. We have Zurin Ra, Batman. We have Arkham Knight. We have Batman 89, the iconic animated series. Easily a lot of people's favorite version of a villainous Batman in The Batman Who Laughs. We have Adam West, and then Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
So 15 suits. We're going to rank them all.
Mm-hmm.
So to start off, Batman Beyond. Guys, I think you guys know some of the history behind this one. Do you guys want to give some of the history for those that don't know about Batman Beyond? What's going on there?
I mean, listen, if we keep it simple, you got Batman ends up being an old guy. Terry McGinnis takes over. You kind of have like a neo-futuristic type of world that this version of Batman is fighting crime in. Listen, this to me is like the most Spider-Man Miles Morales thing that you can possibly get, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That is Batman. But just the look, when you see this Batman, you just think this Batman is just going to, like, he is a striker. He is a fighter. He's going to go hand to hand. And it looks so good with this design of not having a cape, where you can actually see some of the outline. But the emblem, the red and black, you can't go. Red and black's coded for superheroes.
It's always going to look good.
It's just the best color combo of like anything.
Yeah. Do you guys remember watching the show when you were younger?
Yeah, the theme song's playing in my
Obviously.
head
I
right now.
remember my favorite was the Return of the Joker movie. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
I had that on DVD and VHS. And I remember I had the DVD just because my mom had one of those like cars with the DVD players in it.
Nice.
Every road trip I went on, or just anytime I was in the car, I was just playing that Batman Beyond movie. So good. So freaking good. I probably watched that more than the show itself.
That movie is good. The show is also really good.
Oh yeah.
And I think if you haven't, then you're missing out. And I believe it's on HBO Max, right?
I think so. In passing, I thought I saw it. I don't know how recent that was,
Should
though.
be.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if
somebody
it's still
check.
on- Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below if it's not, and we're sorry ahead of time. But if you can find a way to watch this, watch it for sure, because you get a lot of great moments out of it, especially with Bruce Wayne and older Bruce Wayne. It does focus more on Terry, but Bruce Wayne is still heavily featured, and as we said in the first episode, Bruce Wayne does wear the suit, so it's technically a Bruce Wayne suit.
I give it a solid A.
You wouldn't put it in our 0.3 certified S tier?
I mean, for now, let me put it in an A. We got a lot to talk about with the next 14. I can almost, majority of these are going to be 0.3 certified in my mind. But to keep that as a special place, I'm going to give it an A. I'm going to give it an A.
I can get down with an A.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's put it at A for now. We'll keep it there, and then we'll see where it goes
Are
later on.
we allowing movement? Are we allowing movement at the end of
Yeah.
this once we get them all on the board?
Yes. Something we forgot to mention
Okay.
is that we're gonna rank them all, and then we're gonna go through the board and see how we feel, both in terms of the tier that it's in. We're gonna try to put that in order, and then also move things in case we feel that it's just wrong to have it there. So put your pitchforks down, everybody. Next up, Gotham by Gaslight, which is a story that came out in 1989, which is more so about Batman hunting or going up against Jack the Ripper.
Mhm.
And it was an animated film, I think 2 years ago or a year ago.
2018?
Was it that long ago?
I think it was.
Really? Okay.
Ooh,
Are we
so
gonna
long ago.
check this
so
up?
long ago.
Hold on, I'll look it up. Gotham 2018. So yeah,
Here we go. There we
a
go.
lot longer than I thought.
Dude, okay, but the cool I will say this. When it comes to the animated DC stuff, it is that good that you feel like it could come out today. So many
Absolutely.
of these films are so fantastic, the animation style, that like you think it came out a little bit longer, or this year, and it's like, no, man, it's existed for a minute, but it's that good. It
Yeah.
looks that good that it stands
Yeah.
the test of time.
I do remember this one had a little bit of controversy because of some of the changes they made to it. But we're not talking about the film. We're talking about the costume itself. And I think this costume is really good.
Especially given the time, that Victorian era style, and you take that adaptation and slap it on the bat, I think it looks very cool. The cape, the emblem, like I think Spider-Man Noir in a way, for just the way that he's kind of just suited up kind of in here in terms of that look. But dude, this one's, if we saw this in live action,
Oh.
GG's.
I love the fact that his cape is essentially a trench coat.
Yeah,
And like you said,
I like that.
Yeah. And like you said, it does give off that Spider-Man noir type vibe on it. And that's always a good vibe to go with.
Very good vibe. Very good vibe. This is one that a lot of Bat fans, and more casual or common Bat fans, don't necessarily know about or talk about much.
I don't think so
I'm
either.
not gonna lie, I've never seen it before. As I had thought I've known about Batman stuff, but this one is just, it's nice. I don't really have much to say with like seeing it besides the picture, but it looks pretty damn cool. I will say that.
We should do a movie review.
I think at some point we should. But what I was going to say, I thought I remembered this in one of the Arkham games, and I think it's in Arkham Origins. But the issue is, I pulled up a picture of it. It does not look good. I think they took it too comic book accurate for the video game, and it looks a little weird. Like he just looks odd. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate well into this game, and I feel like maybe that's why a lot of people don't know it, because they probably thought of that one weird costume in Arkham Origins, and then they were like, no, let me forget that and put that out of my mind.
Nah, dude, I think it looks pretty sweet. I think if we saw this live action, the way that they would do it, the materials that would be used to make it fit more in that time, crispy suit all day.
And not trying to get ahead, but I'm thinking of another Batman suit that has a trench coat and how good that looks. And if they were to incorporate that as a part of his costume itself, like his cape, instead of it being an outer piece, I think would be even.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
What are we feeling, guys? What are we feeling?
For me personally, the adaptation, the era, keeping some bad elements to it, it feels, when you see this, you're like, what version of Batman that is? When that happens in my mind, that's a good bat suit. I'm gonna go A on this one.
I think an A as well.
Yeah. Same. No, that's
Got
that's
two
weird.
A's so far.
We're not gonna lie to you people at home. The upper tiers are probably gonna
Upper tier,
be
yeah.
stacked in this one
Just
because it's
lunch table style, baby.
yeah. Next up, the Hellbat armor, which debuted in the comics. I don't think has received in any live or any other sort of adaptation. But it's essentially a suit of armor for Batman that gives him powers in a way
Mhm.
and lets him fight people that normally he shouldn't be, like Darkseid.
You like
So,
Darkseid, that's wild.
and people will always refer to the Hellbat armor as the thing that can beat Darkseid, even though it can't.
Right.
Just so that everybody's aware, it only lets him fight and survive.
At a cost.
At a cost, because it is at his own physical cost and his own well-being.
Mhm.
And I probably have a controversial one. I think this is a B. I think it's
Okay.
over designed.
Okay. Dude,
Mm,
I think it's menacing. And when you see this, here's the thing, like you get into this realm of variant suits of Batman where you're like, this doesn't feel Batman. It doesn't feel like is it something that a character could suit up in every single time? No. I think it's special. I think it looks really cool. But I will agree with you. I do think it's a B, but it's a very strong B. And the premise of it's awesome. And it looks menacing. But it just feels. You guys ever watch Gargoyles, the animated movie?
Yes.
It feels more like gargoyle-y than it does Bat-ish, in a way.
I'll say what I want to add to this when we get to the next suit. I don't know. It just feels like it's too edgy in a way.
that's what I've been getting at. I've been looking at more
However-
pictures of it, and it's
But-
cool, but I don't know. Oh, they have a Hellbat Funko.
I do have that. I was going to use it for a video, actually. It's pretty
That
sweet.
looks cool.
However, though, let me throw this out there. Given how it was created by the Justice League, all the lengths that they went through to create it the first time, do you guys feel that the design kind of goes hand in hand in terms of what he's trying to accomplish in this suit and face off against Darkseid? Like the suit kind of,
Yeah.
when you look at it, you're like, you have to face someone extremely OP.
Absolutely. I just still feel like it's that I'm Batman and I need to get edgier to fight someone. I don't know. I just feel like it's a little too much. Like the spikes on the shoulders to me, I think are kind of what kills it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they're just kind of unnecessary. And the weird claws that he has, which
That's
is
my
normally
gargoyle.
not yeah, that's not something that Batman normally is associated with, you know? So it's weird that he now has that type of, you know, accoutrements to his design.
It's super cool, but let me ask you this: if you saw this and I said Bruce Wayne's inside of that, would you be like, is he?
I could believe it.
Definitely. I think I second guess it. I'm feeling the B category.
I'll go
as
solid B.
well.
Solid B.
Yeah.
If I had the cosplay or dress up or something, and somebody's like, "You're going to be Hellbat," I'm like, okay, that's absolutely fine with me.
Here's the thing: it still would be cool to wear the armor, and I don't think B tier is knocking it. I just think it's a little too much for what it needs to be. And what I was going to say, and this is leading into our next one, Injustice 2, is that it feels like an Injustice costume before Injustice was a thing, because Injustice has this very armor-like look to every character. And I think this is the epitome of that. And I know that they put a Hellbat skin in the game.
Yeah.
But I think in the game it looks a tad bit better because it doesn't look as bulky or as over designed, but at times it does too when you start looking at it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that was my comparison to it. But Injustice 2 Batman. Injustice 2 is a fighting game, a sequel to Injustice 1 that ended up spinning off comics and a very, very bad movie. And Injustice 2 is cool because it gives you a whole lot of gear customization options. But in this case, we are going specifically default Injustice 2 Batman.
So what you
I
had
don't know how I
mentioned,
feel
this is
about
where I go side to side or back and forth between BatSuits, right? Does it look like it's armor? Does it look like it's tactile? Like anyone can wear it. It's more militaristic, or does it look like it's a tight, really tight skin suit? This one, I don't hate it, but I don't love it for Batman specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like, it's just kind of plain. I would put it in the C category. I'm not gonna lie.
It feels a little more generic-ish,
Yeah,
but feels like a video game suit.
Yeah, it's definitely a step above his first Injustice costume because the cowl in the first one looks like it's skin tight armor and it
Yeah.
looks really bad. I don't know if you guys look are watching this later, look up Injustice 1 Batman and compare it to this one, and I think Injustice 2 is definitely a step above. But in the Christian Bale movie, when he's like when he beats the wannabe Batmans and they're like, what's the difference between me and you? And he's like, I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah.
It feels like this is who they're talking about.
The knees, it's that design, and it's the stitching comes off, but it does feel like hockey pads. Like if someone's just gonna kick him in the thigh area, it's like, I got pads. Didn't hurt.
I will say there's a suit later on that I think does what Injustice 2 wants to do, but I think does it better.
picking up what you're putting down.
I have my comparison. I can't wait to get to that one. I think you're talking about.
I think we might have the same one. I'm gonna put it C. I agree with C. Spider-Man. Again, I don't think it's bad. It's just one of those like,
Yeah. Nothing amazing or nothing bold.
Yeah. It's just there. I don't want to say crappy because it's not crappy. I don't think it's bad. It's just not.
What do you think of the emblem on this one?
I like the thicker bat. I don't like how it reaches up to his cape though.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I think that's the other part that I don't like about it.
The utility belt, the cowl is pretty cool. I don't mind that. I like the pointy nose. I like the ears, how they're kind of pointed up and in. I don't love the upper chest, the shoulder area, and cape.
No,
I don't love that.
And I think that's kind of what makes a lot of Batman costumes, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, C tier. We might anger some because I know Injustice 2 is very popular and it's still a game I love, but I think that with all the gear in the game, you can make him look way better. Like I'm actually looking at a Batman costume here that is definitely a gear enhanced piece, and it looks so much better.
Oh yeah. Dude, the gear in that game went so crazy.
It did. It was great. I love that piece.
3.
One day. Now, next up, we have the Jim Lee Batman, which for a lot of people is probably gonna rank really high. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
This one was recommended to us in our Discord server.
Yes, it was.
It was, so we appreciate that. Like Lou said, I'm gonna start off and I'm gonna say A. Like, it's Jim Lee. Can it not, like, how do we put it lower? You know?
Dude, for me personally, I think that this might be 0.3 certified.
Yeah, go ahead, throw that up there. It's the angle. It's the
the musculature on it, just beautiful.
Like,
I get with comics, it's pretty easy to show the musculature and like the skin tight suit and stuff, but it's just so iconic. This one, Like the blue on the back of there, the blue on the cape goes so hard. The yellow belt, oh, I love it.
This one, yeah, utility belt, fantastic. I like the trunks. I like the boot height. I like the cowl. I like the shorter ears. I like the cape design for him, especially. But I also love at this time, it feels very dramatic. Feels like a very dramatic bat. But
Yeah.
everything, and even his emblem, it doesn't feel like it's off. It feels like it's embedded into the suit. It's thick enough. It has a good width across the chest. I think it takes up enough space. When you see Batman, you show this in front of anyone who is like, oh, show me a character. You're like, oh, Batman, Batman, Batman. But like this to me is Batman.
Yeah. And what I love is the darker gray boots and the cowl, and then the cape being like this black, gray, blue hue at times, depending on how Jim Lee wanted to draw it. This is it a perfect suit? Is it a perfect Batman suit? To be quite honest, I can't point out any flaws when I look at this. Like, for example, Batman Beyond, the only thing I could say is maybe the ears are too long. But it's like when I look at Jim Lee's Batman, I'm like, God dang, I can't say anything negative about it.
It's a timeless design, in my opinion.
I think it's perfect. Everything that a Batsuit should have / be all in one design.
Here's one like other funky thing, and I didn't think of it until going through this entire list. I sometimes have a problem with the over-abbing of some of these suits. And I don't get that with this. Like, he just feels like when he takes off this costume, you're just like, dang, that's Bruce Wayne. Like, Bruce Wayne's just a walking menace.
This dude jacked.
Yeah.
This dude is jacked.
Yeah, I don't think these suits is just, this suit is like, if he's battle damaged and his mask or cowl falls off, you're like, you're still getting rocked. Like, that's still Batman. That's Batman.
And the other thing that I really enjoy that Jim Lee did with Batman, that I think the only other artist that I've seen do it really is maybe Todd McFarlane, is that the cape feels like alive in some ways in the way that they draw it. I know Todd does it because of Spawn, and Spawn's cape is alive.
From California to New York sometimes.
But like Batman feels that with this. Every time I look at a picture or a cover, it's like his cape is just it's engulfing him and rolling around him. I don't know, man. It's
a special time. This is embodying a special time, I think, of art. I think of capturing motion within each panel. I think that the shading, the colors, like we had mentioned, everything that you could want, it's just speaks to you. This Batman speaks.
Yeah.
All day. And
he's telling us that he needs to be top tier because he'll come after us if we don't. Like, I don't want that Batman going after me.
No. It reminds me of TikTok where like you jaywalk and then you look around and you see Batman. Like,
bro, that era of TikTok was amazing when the Batman came out. Oh my god.
Oh, yes.
My For You page was just filled with everything. It'd be like, oh, like just looking at someone the wrong way. I am vengeance. And it's Batman tackling people.
Speaking of Batman you don't want to run into in a dark alley. Nightmare Batman, another Discord recommendation. How do we feel about this? Because I remember we have to add the trench coat and goggles.
I'm going to start with how it made me feel when I saw it. And when I first saw it in the first dream, I was like, okay. I was like, where are we at? The setting, the tone, the feel, like this Batman given Ben Affleck was just, we saw Batman who K words. Can I say it on here? We get banned for saying the K word?
I don't think so.
Skulls.
Not on YouTube.
Unalive.
As long as we don't mark it for kids.
Yeah, dude, this Batman felt like a post-apocalyptic battle machine. You put it on, you're just like, where's this guy going? Like, I want to see where you're going. I'm watching you. But
Yeah.
at the same time, the coat's not a suit. It's a coat. It's a coat. I actually am gonna say, what the heck is this?
Oh,
Hot take, baby. Trench coat's not a suit. It's just a coat. It's not a cape. It's a coat.
So
yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I was either gonna go see Seek or what the heck is this?
Oh, Hero Skull, bring us back. Bring us back.
I don't know if I can, and I feel like the person that recommended this in Discord is gonna have our head later, because this is a personal favorite of theirs. But okay, I'm gonna start off with what I like. I really like the fact that it feels like Mad Max, right?
Sure.
This feels like Mad Max Batman. And I think the fact that they went with Ben Affleck's Batman being the Dark Knight Returns inspired with like the bigger emblem, I think that base Batsuit looks amazing. The issue with it is when I just Googled and I pulled up the full body, I think the upper half looks great. Like when you look at the trench coat, I actually don't mind it. It's weird, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And I like the upper half. I love this cowl. I think this is probably one of the best Batman cowls out there. And the weird Mad Max goggles, I don't, I don't care for them, but I don't think they look specifically bad. What really detracts from me from it is the pants. And for some reason, the pants just make it not look good. It looks like someone stole or found the top half of a Batman costume and then said, throw some cargo pants.
Yeah.
And throw some tactical combat pants. And I don't know, it just doesn't look good.
If you would have taken this suit and thrown it over the Injustice 2 base bat suit, then I think we're talking. That to me feels like it's like post-apocalyptic. I don't have as many resources. I don't have my funds. I don't have my lab. I can't create this thing. I don't have the tech. So I need to kind of put together something in fashionate Kevlar suit. I got, instead of the massive utility belt, yes, let's go the cargo route. And that's where all my, all my gadgets are going to be just stuffed in. But I go back and forth on this one. And I'm not saying what the heck is this is failure. I just look at it and I'm like, I'm kind of confused, but I like it.
Yeah.
But like,
I agree. No, I agree. I'm alluding to it again. I think that Injustice 2 and this aims for a certain tactical bat suit that I think another one just does perfectly. Yeah. And I think this is, if Injustice 2 is the bottom of like tactical Batman, I think this is a step above. But I still look at it, and maybe it's the browns, right? Maybe if this was a different color, like gray, I think it would maybe go higher. But the browns really throw it off, and the pants just kind of, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the pants.
The pants are weird. For me, if this was a create a character kind of thing, I do like the ones when you do look it up, like the scarf, that kind of look, like add more brown here, but maybe I'd feel differently if we actually got more of him in the movies.
Oh.
Maybe. Oh, the world may never know.
No. Nope.
So it seems firmly as our first, what the heck is this?
We filled every category so far.
But it's not the same as this next one. What the heck is this? These are two different types of what the heck is this?
Yes. Next up, the Batman and Robin 1997 George Clooney Batman, the infamous bat nipples. put that back down, don't you? Even there.
Hey, some Flash fans, they love it. They love to see it. No spoilers, but spoilers. I wish we got to see that suit again. And no way. No part of me.
No, I don't like this suit.
I think I have this suit. It's the Funko.
Even if you take away the bat nips.
Yeah, the 97 suit.
Even if you take away the bat nips, I just think this suit is ugly.
I really do.
It has no identity. It's like matte gray.
Navy gray-ish,
Yeah.
and like a glossy inner cape and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a satin cape. Like, you know, Batman's just gonna slip off anything he tries to sit on because.
Bro, this is. Yeah, they tried to make this a sexy bat, and I do not think that it worked. Like, what do we think George Clooney would look really good in? They're just like, oh, idea.
We'll say the Funko for it is
I'd say
better
dope.
than how the suit.
Well, to be fair, that's the next one. They made some changes.
Yeah, that's the one after that.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's later on in the movie,
the 97
right?
one.
I think it is. That's
I
the
think
one
it's
with
like the
Robin
second suit he
and Alicia
gets.
Silverstone and
Yeah. I just think that this base suit is so devoid of color that it devoids it of any identity.
yeah, it's here's my main thing that I don't love about this. I don't love the bat emblem on the belt, and I don't love it on the chest.
Yeah, that's right. I never noticed that.
I don't. Those are my two biggest gripes with this. The bat nips is whatever, but I remember going back and watching this, and those two, the way that they're symmetrical, stacked on top of each other, it doesn't fill the chest out in the way that I would want it to. And George Clooney's not a big guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not. I don't know.
What about the cowl? What do you guys think about the cowl on this one?
I didn't hate it, especially as a toy. However, what I didn't like during the movie is the eye black underneath, and just the way that it didn't look fitted. Like Ben Affleck's, even in the Nightmare One next suit, is like nasty. It's just like, oh, this one is just it's there. It's there.
His
Feels
eyes
plastic.
just look like, I don't know. His eyes just look weird through like in the suit.
Yeah.
It just looks like kind of just creepy.
My issue as I look at like different toys and stuff as I'm clicking One Piece suit, and the more I look at it, I'm like, how do you put this on?
Dude, there's no way, and that's why whenever he would be like, legitimately in the movie, he'd be
exactly, and that's why I'm like, oh, it's just not good. Is this one of those things where it translates better into other mediums? Maybe.
Why do they have such an emphasis on his nipples too?
Mr. Freeze. I don't know.
But the thing is, how do you put that aspect of a costume and not make it stand out? Because I feel like these aren't like, overtly, overt nipples. They're just there though, and I think that's what makes it weird.
He's
Wait,
a sexy
who
bat.
designs a freaking?
How many abs?
designs
This guy has like a
BatSuits?
36 pack.
He has a 36 pack. He has a deep V cut. Like he for days.
Robert Pattinson test screened in this suit and is on record saying how uncomfortable it is.
I could believe it. This looks horrible. Well, I'm glad it's gonna live in the depths of what the heck is this.
Man, I feel bad for putting Nightmare back. Can we move it up to C? I don't want it to be associated with this. In all fairness.
That is kind of true. As I look at it, putting it next to Batnips
Next
is a
to it,
little
I'm just like,
mean.
dude, that one looks. I'd put it over Injustice too.
I agree.
Spider-Man, do you agree?
I agree. I don't have much opinion on that suit.
He's like, I don't
I'm
know.
agreeing.
Okay.
It's definitely. I will say it's definitely better than this blue nipple weird cowl.
And that's the thing. It's like it can't commit to blue, gray. It can't commit to a color.
Yeah,
The-
it's just like why is shiny
what's
blue like that?
you know what's
Yeah,
funny?
Batman is supposed to be darkness in the night, but let's just make him a metallic blue.
Go back and watch this movie and see how many neon colors are shining off of this guy. And how they try to use some techniques to where like he's always shaded. Like half of him is dark, half of him's not. But then the background, you have these big neon lights and all this kind of stuff, and it just didn't work. Oh, this movie is just sorry,
It's
George
an odd
Clooney.
one. It's an odd one. It's a very odd one. It will live in what the heck is this by itself, probably.
Best post credit scene.
Yeah. We're gonna skip over that. Next up, The Batman 2022, Robert Pattinson. I'm going to start off by saying this is the one that I was alluding to that I feel like Injustice was aiming for. This is the tactical bat suit done perfectly. Perfectly. I have no complaints in this suit. And to be honest, for me, this is a 0.3 certified, I think. But
Spider Brando.
Is it? Or
What
is
do you
it?
think
What
it
the
is?
heck is this?
Oh,
Where is it? A C tier? Nah, it's just 0.3 certified, boy. But Battinson is my Batman. That's my hot take. I don't care what anybody says.
okay.
There's one movie. He's my Batman. I saw that. That was the first movie I've ever seen in IMAX. Besides, like when I was a kid, or like years without seeing a movie in IMAX. And oh my god, the entire car ride there, me and my friends were just like, we haven't had a Batman movie in a while. Entire car ride back, just nothing but the Batman theme song the entire ride home, just on repeat, just
that's a
silence and
beautiful
just
orchestrated.
oh, it was beautiful. It was just like the four of us just going don don don.
Dude, I did not
So
mind every
enough
time
about
it
the
played
movie
in the
itself,
movie.
but that suit was just menacing. The opening of that movie, the way they like showed the suit for the first time, and like all his Battinson's action and the way he was dodging punches, taking punches, just like, oh my god, everything. Another everything that you'd want in a tactical Batman suit.
100%.
It was fitted to his head pretty well, and the cowls weren't there. The ears weren't too pointy, and the symbol. I'm a big fan of that symbol. It's sleek. It's like a nice modern symbol.
But it feels bat-ish. More
Yeah.
batty.
And did you know? I forgot. Was that I remember someone a while ago told me that the symbol was made out of like the parts of the gun that was used to kill his parents. I don't know how true that was.
Ooh, it's a
Granted,
Reddit.
he was like a
rabbit
kid
hole.
at the time, but I
I've
feel
heard
like
that.
I don't know. I
I've
think
heard
that's
that.
cool. That's like a nice touch to add into like your own
Yeah.
image, or like why you do Batman or why you are Batman.
I like it. I think this is the best way. Or wait, Hero Scroller, you can say something?
No, go ahead, and then I'll say what I had to say.
I'll keep it short and sweet. The best tactical, like you guys had said, Batsuit, in my opinion, in terms of that he can evolve as the movies go on in Batman 2. They're going to do something to make him look different as he gets more refined as Batman. But I think from an origin standpoint, like Suit V1, by far the best. This is probably
Crazy.
one of the better. We can argue Bale, we can argue Batfleck, but this one, for the character and the story that they told of Batman, I don't think you get much better than this live action.
Yeah, there's two things. I give it that chef's kiss, baby. There's two things that I think this has done over other live actions. One, it does kind of do the Gotham Gaslight almost like lifted up neck a little bit, which makes it almost look like a trench coat, but it's part of his cape.
Yeah.
which I think is like a really nice touch. The other thing is that this movie did a good job of showing you this suit in the shadows.
Yes.
And they did it in the opening scene, they did it in the hallway scene, and I think they did it in the nightclub scene where it's just dark and you see the silhouette of this Batman. And yes, it's still an armor in a way, but it just, you look at it at like a quick glance and it's like, oh, that's a demon of the night coming. Like I specifically look at the poster, the Red Rain poster, which I think is probably one of the best Batman posters of all time.
Yeah.
And you look at the silhouette of that suit and it's menacing. Like you look at this and it's like, oh my God, this guy's coming for you. And when in the trailer, which they do in the movie as well, but when he crashes the penguin and then he's walking in the night with the fire behind him and the cape is
I
flowing
need to
and
watch this
everything.
movie again, man. This is like,
Yeah, I love this suit. I love this suit.
Yeah. Huge fan of this. No,
So-
they didn't give him a gajillion abs.
They didn't either. They gave him.
dude, they
6
gave him a freaking mean back though. Holy shit! At least Pattinson. Yo,
Yo, wait until my guy Daniel Radcliffe shows up, all right? He's gonna make Battinson look like a punk.
Ooh.
Bro, Harry Potter swole. Cedric Diggory ain't got nothing on him.
Speaking of weird out there things, right? Batman Zur in R, Ra, or whatever. It started off as a alien dressing up as Batman. They later retconned it to be Batman's alter ego when he needed to get a little more violent than he already is. So this Batman is a little more unhinged, but not full on villainous. He was recently brought back in the Chip Zdarsky run. I think it was like Batman issue 130 something or 120 something. It was like start of this year.
Oh, was it
No,
that was this
start of
year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or around either late last year or start of this year. So it's recent, very recent when they brought this character back. What do you guys feel? Because I feel like out of all the Batman suits, this is the most wild one that we put on this list.
If this suit is an A to me with context. Without context, I'm like, well, is this supposed to be Joker with the purple and the red and the yellow? Who is this supposed to be? Is it someone impersonating Batman? But when you, not the alien, but when you go through Morrison's run, you get that version of Batman, and you know that it is the violent side of Bruce Wayne. This is what he looks like. All the mental stuff that's happening with Batman, it's wild. And this suit, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's really cool, actually, that you have someone who's dark, who lives in the shadows, and then Bruce Wayne would, some alter ego would choose this color palette that in Gotham, people would be like, who is this? Like, you're in everyone's face. I think it's a cool idea. I think it's way better than the original. But this picture that we do have on screen here in kind of that, 2000s-ish?
Yeah.
Late 2000s?
I think so.
I think it's a cool idea. I'm going to say B. I think it is kind of out there, but I'll give it a B personally with context.
Spider-Brando?
without any context, right? Like as soon as I saw this suit, today was the first time I'm seeing this suit ever. I was like, "What the heck is this?"
It's very what the heck though.
It's hearing you guys explain it more. I like it. I think it would be a solid B or C. I don't know if I can put an A though, just because like.
Ooh, I can't.
I
You could sway me to C,
know.
but
if everybody knew what this was, I'd say an A. But taking it, like you said, into the perspective of someone, if you just look at this, you think this is a Bizarro.
Yeah.
This is like
That's what I
Batman's
thought at
Bizarro.
first, actually. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, is this like? I legit thought of Superman Bizarro, and I'm like, is this Batman Bizarro?
Yeah, it feels like that, and I feel like that makes it a B. Because also this does not translate well into anything else, to be quite honest, because I think it was in Arkham City or Knight, one of the two,
It might be.
and it did not look good.
But even thinking about that though, like this isn't something you can just plop into any setting scene. Like if you were to take this and put it in the next photo in any Arkham game, or like you had said, the color palette's not going to match with the tone and the theme that's going on.
No.
Like you have to specifically draw this or put this in a specifically made setting.
It's an Arkham Knight. It does not look good.
I gotta see it.
It does. Look it up, because it just doesn't look good. I don't know. I'm not a fan. And I think because it's one of those, like, this really only works in the comics, but when it works,
What
it
did they
works.
do?
Yeah, they added this weird patchwork thing.
It's like Scarecrow-ish in a way.
Which the original's not even that in a way.
No, dude, the original, I don't care for the
So-
emblem or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
Although I will say, even with the original, you at least get like the cape and the cowl and the trunks and the belt. Like, you know, if you see it, you're like, oh, it's Batman. Why does he look different?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. They tried the Arkham game. I don't know. Ooh, not sure.
This doesn't look good.
No.
This doesn't look good.
No.
B. I think B underneath Hellbat.
Yeah, this guy's got tanks for arms in that game. Jeez,
He does.
it doesn't help. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of tanks for arms in this game specifically, let's go the base Arkham Knight suit. Arkham Knight was the third and last so far in the trilogy of the Arkham series, the mainline Arkham series. There was a prequel, but that was not mainline. And the final suit, because that suit goes through, I think, 3 iterations, 3 or 4, and this is the final one. Spider Brand, I want to kick this off to you because I know you're a big gamer. And what do you feel about this one? What are you feeling when you first saw this? What did you think?
0.3 or A minimum, in my opinion on it. I love it. Just when I saw it, just gives me throwbacks to seeing the suit in game, and I was not one that really used many custom suits besides just that one, or besides just the main one. Just I like it. It reminds me like it's kind of it's got a little toes, pretty good. It's very good, and the middle, the chest, or not the. What am I trying to say? The cowl is good. The logo is good in the middle of the chest. And the cape. The cape is great. You'd be freaking flying through that city on that cape. Gliding through it. That shit spreads out just like you want it to. And I'm a big fan of it.
It's solid.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a fan of how the ears are almost towards the back instead of the side in it. I don't know why. That really adds something to it adds a certain flavor to that. At least from what we've seen so far, a lot of other Batman don't really have.
No. It's almost like they're thicker at the base. They come from the side and they kind of thin out as they get to the top. And it depends if they're like kind of just purely erect or if they kind of like lean in a little bit towards each other. But yeah, I think it does give it like a shorter ear look in a way, but from a side profile, you're like, oh, it's different. Like you notice that.
Yeah.
I don't have anything wrong with it. Like I don't, but it doesn't like do too much for me though. In that where I would say I think it's an AB in a way. I really like it, but when I look at the other A, I'm like, it's not that unique and different. In a way, that's just me.
it feels like the going back to the tactical suit talk that we were doing earlier. I feel like this is somewhere in between, like it's a step below the Pattinson one. And I can't quite put my finger on it. And I think it might be the way that his armor weaves in between like gray and black parts, and that's supposed to be kind of like this weird material that protects him. And it does break the suit up, and it looks good. I think it looks good. I think it's just a step below
Yeah.
Pattinson. So I would say high A. I think this is a really good suit.
I'll go A.
Good.
So
So let's settle for.
Spider Brando would have rieted over this. We might have to. We might have to.
Stream. I'm kidding.
We might have to change your name to Bat Brando.
Bat Brando. You know, I was actually, I was gonna, I was thinking
Spider
of
Bat.
doing that. Ooh.
It's not too late. Well, at least for today. Anyways, next up, one that I think is gonna be fun to talk about. The one that kind of sent Batman to a different stratosphere when it came to live action suits.
Bro, live action superheroes.
Yeah, live action superheroes in general. But I think it's still a standard that is a lot of people expect today. And that is the Batman Michael Keaton from Batman, the film 1989. What do you guys feel about this?
I really like the pure black and the yellow emblem.
All day.
But I'm not a big fan of this version's emblem with the little like pointy tail at the bottom of it. Not like pointy tail. It's got that little like.
Yeah, it's like a pointed tail.
It goes out. Yeah, it goes out just a little too pointy for me. That's the one knock I have on it. I think the ears are solid. The belt is great. The cape is great, especially in the Flash movie. Can't even lie. That cape was pretty good. That one was a little different than the 89 one, though, right? They obviously it was more modern and tweaked.
Slightly. I have to do a side by side.
But I'd say I don't know. I don't know what I would say. Definitely not C, or what the heck is this? I'm torn between the
Let me ask you this. Can you like this? Can you like Batman Beyond but not like this one? Obviously the answer is yes. But why I say that is the emblem itself is very iconic and does stand out. But it's not. He's not overly buff. It does look fitted. It doesn't have as much detail, but I think it's very iconic in terms of the yellow on the emblem, the gold of the utility belt, and the cowl. I actually really like it. I like how sharp the ears are in this one, and I like how defined it is below his eyes to kind of give that point to his nose, but still there's enough space around his mouth. Yep. I think it looks cool. I think it always has looked really cool.
I like the way the cape goes down too on his like side over here. I think that is like the best type of cape that extends onto his chest that we've seen. I don't know. It's just like
it's good enough for the Flash.
It's
good
iconic.
Enough for me, right?
Yeah.
It is iconic. And I think that's why we can't really give it anything below like an A. I would personally say maybe the lowest A in the A tier, because for me, what takes away gigantic points from this, the neck. I think the fact that he can barely move his neck in this suit kills a lot of the mystique of Batman, because when he has to like just full body turn to look at you, and it's like that doesn't look good. And I look at a lot of the merchandise and like other statues of it. And when they put him at that angle where he's trying to look somewhere else, but you can tell he's turning his body,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
like,
makes it look awkward. And I have to knock it. I can't give it that S tier, that 0.3 certified, but I can't give it a B.
I will give the Flash 2023 an S tier. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes, but this is 89.
Yeah.
But 89, I don't picture this 89 one fighting or in action or anything like that. He is standing there doing something, holding something, talking to someone. Like, this guy has no movement. He's just like a statue. And
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what you
Yeah,
just
when
said.
I rewatched it, what was it? I rewatched it this past year in
Right before,
preparation
yeah.
for Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest grips I had with the movie. I'm like, dude, like he's just. I get it was 89, but like, there's no fight sequencing. When he had to dodge something, they just like cut the camera the angle the other way and just didn't even show up.
Do you guys like that they changed his belt from gold to black from 89 to 2023? Pull the picture up if you haven't.
I was about to look it up.
Keaton Batsuit, simple search. You can see there should be a side by side of the three from Batman Returns, and then the Flash.
You know what? It actually does do something for it.
I mean, they changed the body of it a little bit. I think the ab
Yeah.
structure between the three of them. I think Batman Returns has the worst chest sculpt.
Batman Returns has the worst cowl and the worst upper body.
Yeah,
I think Batman Returns is an ugly suit, to be quite honest.
I don't like it.
Yeah, you know what? 89. Yeah, I think this just solidifies it as like the bottom A, where
it's like
it just did it, you know, in a time where we weren't really getting that. And I think if it were to come out today, it might get dogged on a little bit.
I think that's why they changed it. I think you have to. I think it's the cowl. The cowl is the big piece to where you can argue B, but the nostalgia aspect of something like this, for me, it's the bat emblem. I love it. I always have loved it, even with its little tail. Now they tweaked it slightly for the new updated suit, but I grew up on it. It was one of the first films that I saw live action wise that I can recall. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. I think the lowest A tier is fair, to be quite honest.
I'll give it that.
Next up, speaking of A for animated, we're talking about the Batman animated series suit, the cartoon series, the iconic cartoon series at this point. I'm hovering somewhere between 0.3 certified and A. I'll be honest.
I would push that to 0.3 certified personally. I know it's different.
Let's start off. What if we're playing devil's advocate? What keeps it from 0.3? Like looking at the suit, what keeps it from 0.3?
I know that there are people who don't like the blending of cowl to cape, where it looks like if you took the cape off, you're taking the cowl off too.
Which is, I think, is something we've said this whole time, right? Where we've knocked points for other ones that do it.
Yes, but there are different things about this that make it fun. Rando?
I think it's 0.3 certified.
Oh, don't say that if you don't mean it.
What do you mean? I do mean it.
He's like, dog, I don't want to get canceled out here. I'm just kidding.
But what if you were someone that looks at this, what would you say doesn't keep it from the highest tier? Like if you had to nag on something besides the cowl, because I don't think to me personally, I don't think there's much you can really say other than the cowl.
He doesn't have as much abs as the other guys, but like I don't really care about that. For an animated, at least, I think it's just a nice gray. a nice. It's kind of like it reminds me of the Jim Lee one, but just animated.
I think you
With
do
the
get that
whole
update.
blue cave, the
Mhm.
whole the belt being orangey, at least in this picture. It's a little different than I remember. I feel like I remembered it being more yellow.
I think it is. I think that picture
Oh.
just kind of
Yes.
made it a little more orange.
Not every episode is perfect, all right?
Yeah,
That's true.
but it is supposed to be a little more
But
yellow.
no, I loved it. Every time they do the opening scene and they just have him standing over on a skyscraper,
Yeah.
it just looks iconic in the dark,
Dude.
even with the white, gray, and the blue. Takes
The-
the most inspiration from a batsuit coming up next.
Well, before we move on to, I'll wait to say what about that. But the thing that I love that the animated shows did for these suits are the eyes. You never, I don't think personally, have
yeah.
ever gotten a way of like when Batman squints, when he looks, when he has that, like he speaks through his eyes in the animated version. They try to duplicate that a lot of different ways in live action, but it never comes across
So
as
hard to.
cool. Yeah. It never comes across as cool. The whites of the eyes with animated or Batman Beyond, and then this animated 90s Batman, top notch.
Yeah, and the cape, man. The shots of him with the cape, where he's like the cape's draped over him, and
Yeah.
he's like,
Mhm.
covering himself with the cape. It adds a lot, and it's not something that is done in too many Batman like adaptations. I think the only other one that did it well was Arkham Knight or the Arkham series, where they kind of use it as like a stun. But no other Batman adaptation ever really uses that cape that much. And
No.
the animated series does. And I think that takes it a long way.
I always picture that picture that we have on the screen for Tearmaker right now. I 100% see him rolling to the left, dodging gunshots, and he pulls out a batarang and he's about to just bing, 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 pick them all off. And you get that cape movement, the whoosh, and all that kind of stuff. Like that's just sweet.
When I think of Batman on a rooftop in like rain and lightning, that's the one that comes to my head.
100%.
Yeah, 0.3 certified, honestly, I think.
I
As we've
always
talked
think
about
it's
it,
great.
yeah. It's one of those that it's hard to be like, how can it not be, I understand some might not like it, but speaking of some not liking certain things, I remember this got a little bit of backlash too when it came out. The Batman Who Laughs.
Wild.
This is a alternate Earth Bruce Wayne that gets infected with the Joker toxin and kills everybody. Literally.
Wow.
And then goes into the multiverse and tries to recruit and kill other Batmen. So,
Dude, that's so sick as fuck.
It's a fun
I've
story.
seen that before.
It's a fun story. It's a fun comic series. I think it's worth the read, especially with all the tie-ins that follow up to it, and then the Dark Dark Knight's Metal series, and then Death Metal.
Damn,
I think it's fun. You should.
The Funko for it is sick.
Yeah, I think you should read it. It's fun. Like it's genuinely.
Dude, low key.
The name alone is awesome. And you're like, it's got to be Joker. Is it Joker? No, it's Bruce Wayne. And he looks awesome, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Dude, have you guys seen Tokyo Ghoul?
Yes.
Yes, he does look like a Tokyo Ghoul.
It reminds me of
Yes.
Kanekys.
Yep.
And this, wow. That's awesome. I'm going.
Where are you going?
Down the page. That's where he's going.
I didn't mean to. I switched to that tab.
I'm going A for all the out there
yeah,
adaptations. I think it's cool.
That's where I was leaning towards.
I think it's a firm A, like high A.
Death
Um,
metal Joker, Batman, Bruce Wayne, who's just a cosmic god.
Sounds so bad.
it's just like it's one of those things where we kind of knocked, or at least I did. I kind of knocked the Hellbat armor for being edgy, and I feel like this is edgy, but it does it enough to
It's like a
where
good edgy though. This is
it is.
Yeah.
cool.
And you know what? I think what solidified me as like this is a good freaking costume. Look up the Mortal Kombat 11 Batman Who Laughs skin for Noob Saibot. Dog, it is one of the most menacing looking skins ever. And this just really solidified that, yeah, no, this version of Batman is one of the cooler, more out there things they've done. And it can translate well into a lot of things.
Dude, you get the elements. Why would you not want to see? I don't know. I wasn't into it. Obviously, I didn't know you guys when this came out. But to get a best hero and his number one rogue smashed together, and there's a cool spin to the look, like that smile with Batman elements, with just like this death metal of like, who's going to stop me? Read to find out, but
I think what sets it apart from the Hell
Cool.
Batman is like with the edginess is because we know this is just like a variant, like kind of what if Bruce Wayne versus Batman, Bruce Wayne being edgy just to be edgy to compete with someone he can't really compete against. I think that's why it's the step above than the Hellbat.
That's fair. That's fair. And you know, you brought that up, Lou, about them mixing together characters and like their worst villains, and I immediately thought of Superior Octopus and how good that looks because it is just a mashup of Doc Ock and Spidey, and they do the same thing here where it's just, what if we mash them up? What would they look like? And 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be a really cool result. You know,
sick.
I don't know how people don't see this and don't like at least get some enjoyment out of it. It's a lot. It's a lot in a character. I will say that.
Look at the detail. If you're watching this, search Batman Who Laughs and look up that photo that we used for this version of him. The detail in this is actually really cool. Like really cool. From like the background to what he's using at the end of his chains and just the look to where you're like, is this Joker? No, you'd be like, is this Batman? But something happened to him. Awesome.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
Sweet detail. And plus the bats. This is new 52 time.
This is what would this era be called? This would be technically Rebirth.
Or Rebirth.
Is this because this led into the newest Death Metal rebooted, Death Metal rebooted into Future State stuff. So whatever was before Future State. So I think it is Rebirth.
I'm gonna say Rebirth Batman because of the symbols of the bats. It is Rebirth.
It is, okay. So this is technically the Rebirth universe. So yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how people don't see this and enjoy it, you know? And let's be like, dang, that's pretty cool. Like, what if Batman just went full on crazy? Yeah.
But different. It's
But
different.
different.
Batman's awesome. I'm sorry. Batman's so cool.
Batman's so cool. Speaking of not cool, though, something that's not cool. Adam West. Batman.
This is when you get
Batman.
This is like the 60s, like zoom in and zoom out of the camera, and like him and Robin are just breaking it down.
It looks like pajamas.
Stop right there, villain. Did you take those from my drawer?
It looks like pajamas.
Yeah,
They tried.
it's just like
This
it's
is
just iconic because the first, but it's just what the heck.
I mean, Robin was looking more fit. But
Is
this-
it the fact that the cowl does? They full on bled the cowl into the cape, and that's what also makes the head look weird. Besides the eyebrows and the drawn on nose.
No, it just
What?
looks like someone's really good with the sewing machine. Honey, you forgot your wings. You forgot your wings. Adam!
Come back. Yeah. What the heck is this? Is that fair?
I'm
think
gonna
so.
go. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that.
I will say the Lego cowl is pretty cool.
They
See,
Yeah.
they even have the freaking drawn on,
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Wow.
drawn on, and the nose.
That is
That's
fantastic.
crazy.
That
No,
is great.
It's cool. I'm sure at the time this was super cool. And if I saw this, I would be like, Mom, can you make this for me? There's no way I'm gonna, if I were to go to my mom and I'm like, hey, I saw Battinson's the back, can you make me this suit? And she's like, are you okay? Like
Yeah.
this suit, everyone's probably like, let's do it.
I mean, it is. So here's the thing. It is very comic accurate for the time.
Yeah, no, for the
It's
time, it just cheeks though.
it just
Not
doesn't
age
age
well.
well.
It just
Spider Brando said it.
no. Sorry,
Yeah.
I stole your thunder, but
No. I think that's what. To be quite honest, if you don't know, like, let's say you know nothing about Batman, which is like, you have to live literally under a rock. Let's say you know nothing about Batman, and I showed you Adam West Batman. Your first reaction is probably like, "Are you kidding? Like, you're joking with me, right?" Like,
this
if I were
guy
to
no leap
explain,
you're gonna keep.
yeah, like if I were to explain to you, hey, Batman is this character who he dresses like a bat, but it's cool. He, flies around at night, dark, edgy, beats up villains. And I know Adam West Batman isn't that, but if I'm explaining to you what Batman is known for, right? And then I show you Adam West, you have to be like, are you kidding me? Right? Pow. But, dude.
There you go. There you go. Pow.
Yeah.
I know Brando's not even paying attention.
Yeah,
Look at, dude, I'm out here throwing up props out here, and you're like, nah, dog, I checked out. I'm done.
I was.
Let me check my
I
fantasy.
missed a pow.
it
It wasn't fantasy, but it was football.
I was
This
saving
chat
this for
is
this
going off.
moment. No, it's iconic, but it's the suit. The suit's cheap and it sucks. So sorry,
You
all
want
you old
C?
timers.
What the heck is this?
No, what the heck is this, man?
I didn't
Put
love
the-
it when we saw it in Flash again in a very distasteful version.
Yeah, put that down. Now, next up is probably for a lot of people what got them into Batman hardcore. For a lot of people, the best Batman adaptations ever. And that's a conversation for another day. Today we are talking Christian Bale Batman suit. Before Pattinson, I think this is the best live action suit.
Hang on now.
And this
Look.
is the Dark Knight Rises one.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I had to make sure. I was like, I think that one was the final one with his belt being the difference, but I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know where to rank it.
What does your gut say?
Not
Like when you look at this
definitely.
suit.
It's above B for me. The one thing I don't like about Bale's Batman was like they made the cowl really small around his mouth.
The mouth. That's my number one thing that
Yeah.
always bothers
Like,
me with
it's just
Christian
like-
Bale's. And
It's
he
just
does
like,
that
he's only
accent.
got
he's
like
like,
this, like just this
Yeah.
much space.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's almost the perfect suit. Like especially with the criteria that we were going off the other suits for. It's pretty tactical. The belt is great. I remember I had that belt when I was little, just the toy one. The symbol is awesome,
Yeah, that's sweet. Especially on the cover.
but it's just the mouth. Like, it just throws me off. I
How durable is this suit?
I mean, this suit took some bullets, no?
yeah, it's
Also
pretty
got
damn
cracked by
He
my
got
boy Bane.
Yeah, dude,
My
that
Bane.
man got his backbone.
But it's Bane. But it's Bane.
I know.
It is Bane.
I just always like pointing that out whenever I always thought, I don't know why I do it. It's a knee jerk reaction of mine when people are like, he's great. And I'm like, bro got dusted. But then it's just like, it's Bane. It's just Bane. One of the best. I will say for this suit, although I don't care for it, the cowl and the mouth opening, it actually played really well with the Batman accent that Christian Bale decided to create for Batman, and like highlighting it and like all the spittle that would come out all the time when he's doing it. Like it is just look good.
I mean, it really just started when it started the trend of Batman disguising his voice, right? Because before this, they really wouldn't. Batman would never really do that.
No.
Christian Bale was really the first one to kind of be like, no, my voice, I'm going to change my voice. You know, in Affleck's case, it was a voice disruptor, which I think was a little cooler.
It was super cool when he tested it though, and he did it, and you're
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let's go.
But then like his is like, tell me where she is. Like he sounds out of breath. And it's probably the funniest part about it.
Go YouTube the auditions for this when people are talking about it. When he first does it and everyone's laughing and they're just like, what is this guy doing? Yeah. But it really grew on people and became extremely obviously iconic.
Yes. And what I'll give it points to in the same way that Pattinson's Batman, they do a lot with this suit being in the shadows at times, and it looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The cape work with him is very cool. I actually really like it. I like how they play with this. But at the same time with this suit, it makes it feel like he puts it on at the time before Iron Man. But at the time you felt like this guy invested in this suit to protect him to do what it is that he wants to do, but it never gave him the offensive firepower that you would kind of feel sometimes that you kind of got on the flip side of like an Iron Man. Iron Man was a lot of offense. Batman was like, yo, this is my defense. Like, this is my suit to protect me, but I have some enhancements to make me better, stronger than the average. Like that whole thing when he does the knee thing and breaks the concrete pillar and stuff, or the brick pillar down with Alfred. But this one's sweet. Like, I would say of all the live action suits, this one does everything the best that we've talked about with the other live action Batman. But he's a problem. Like the Christian Bale's Batman in this suit is a problem.
Yeah.
You can flee to Tokyo, my guy is going to find you.
And that's the thing. They do the cool thing where this looks good with the cape off and the cape on. Because when he goes to Tokyo to find I forget his name, whatever his name is, the gangster that's trying to, put out a hit and protect the mobster's money. I mean, it looks good. Like, yeah, even in the daytime, which this Batman oddly comes out a lot in the daytime, it looks good. Like, he stands out in a good way, where it's not like you're like, oh, look at that weird bat guy.
Yeah.
No, he stands out and everybody's like, no, that's the Batman.
Yeah. It's bam, right there. The Batman, not the Batman. That's the Batman. I'm sorry. That's where I go. That's where I go with Pattinson. It's like, yeah, it's the Batman, but this is like the live action Batman. The live action Batman. Sorry, Bat Brando.
Get there. Pattinson will get there one day. He's only had one movie.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not gonna knock on him.
Is 0.3 certified?
I'm 0.3 certifying it. He looks dope. Standing, fighting, swinging, dropping, talking, riding on a massive tire motorcycle, freaking tank. Like, he looks good in all areas, all angles, at all times, in my opinion. Day or night, bam.
This Batman has finesse.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, Batman's normally not a flashy character, but I think this one, he's flashing that money a little bit, and not in like I'm not like Iron Man where it's like I'm trying to show off. It's just like I'm Batman and I'm cool, and this is why. And I think this is really one of the only ones that shows you that.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Odd detail that I think this cowl actually does better that I didn't really notice until I'm looking at Entertainment Weekly, The Dark Knight Rises. Depending on the shadows, you see that his eye opening in the cowl is like slanted slightly more, and there's some ripples. Kind of, he looks meaner. This is probably one of the meaner looking cowls, actually.
Yeah.
They
Bale
do
does
the
not
thing.
put on a white face.
They do the thing where in certain angles you can't see the eyes at all, so it just looks like a figure.
Yeah, man, his hot toy actually looks really good. Whoa.
Yeah,
and he can move his neck.
His McFarlane is actually pretty cool. He can
100%.
move his neck. He even made a joke about it in the movie.
Yeah.
And now I kind of want to rewatch the Dark Knight trilogy.
Dude, is it weird? Is it weird that we
No.
said that? I picture when we started talking about him, you guys know the music that they play when the Joker's talking and it like
Yes.
builds.
Yeah,
It's very Nolan, but like, I'm
but I
getting
mean, like I think back to the hype and excitement that was the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises. I mean, the hype behind both was insane, and to this day, when anything comes out about it, it's insane. Like the McFarlane figures, they announced them, and people were like, "Whoa!" And I include myself because I bought the whole wave to build Bane. It's just, this is one of those timeless trilogies that people are always going to look back on and think fondly of. Not only because it was a nostalgia of the time, but like these movies are really good. Like, and the thing is, they're long movies. They're long movies, but you can watch them. Like the Batman, the Robert Pattinson one, I could cut out like a good 45 minutes of it. But in Nolan's, you could, but I feel like you would miss something if you do.
yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's a Nolan thing. No knock on Reeves or anything, but weird thing before I know we're getting on time here. Do you guys like the layered symbol look on Bale's Batman?
Yeah, it's cool. It gives it that shadow.
Badass.
It's pretty sweet.
I love his logo so much, or his bat symbol is so beautiful.
He's got
there's one
at angles, different angles. I'm looking at him like, okay.
I thought you said dementia at first, and I was like, that's so mean.
Well, bro keeps doing what he's doing. Maybe.
I was trying to find out how to fit. Like, I got my Spider-Man tattoo of two logos between Toby and Andrews. I'm going crazy today. I can't talk. And I want to do something like that with two bat symbols of Battinson's and Bale's, but they just do not look good. Like connected to it. It just does not look good. I've tried, mapped it out, and like put them two side by side.
It just doesn't work.
And it pains me. That just doesn't work like that.
I can understand that. You know what the other cool thing is? It would be
cool to put like right underneath here, like right, like even my camera is bad, but just right, no bad angle too. I don't know, just horizontal, vertical.
Let's let the fans throw out suggestions. Where should Bat Brando get his tattoo?
Yeah. So I want to bring up one last point about this suit, and then we'll move on. With the George Clooney, you brought up the fact that his emblem is on his utility belt, and if you look at this one has an emblem, but it's different.
Hmm.
And I feel like that adds something to it too. It's a nice little detail to it.
It is. I was thinking of looking at it. One thing that I think every Batman should have for a utility belt is I like the notches and the kind of separation. But if you're not going to have it as a pouch or something that contains some sort of bat gadget, then it needs to just have a cool design. And I think that's what they do with Christian Bale. It's not. It doesn't have tons of flaps and all that kind of stuff. But I looking at him like bro's right-handed. Like simply put, my guy's right-handed.
That's why we got this bad boy. I mean, even like looking at it as a toy, it's like this design timeless, maybe.
I would say yes. I personally would say yes.
Well, there you go. 0.3 certified.
I think it is. I think it's
Oh,
Very much so.
that's our tier list. So let's go through it really quick, see if we feel like we need to move anything, and we'll start from bottom to top. At our D tier, what the heck is this? We have Bat Nips and Adam West.
Sorry, gents.
Yeah. At C tier, we have Injustice 2 and Nightmare Batman. I think that's fair, right? I think Nightmare Batman goes over Injustice 2.
I agree.
Okay. Spider Brando
Oh, Nightmare Batman.
on C tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. B tier, we have Zurin R. Ra Batman and then Hellbat armor.
I think that's fair.
And I think that's fair as well. In the A tier, we have Batman Beyond, Gotham by Gaslight, Arkham Knight, Batman 89, and the Batman Who Laughs. I feel like someone needs to move.
Yep. More.
Keep it going. One more. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that. Part of me feels weird not moving Batman Beyond up. I don't know if that's just me.
I will say I felt I vote 0.3 certified.
I voted into it. Spider Brando.
I mean, Bat Brando.
Where do we move it on the 0.3
Let's
certified
put it
scale, though?
Let's put it at the end for now.
Yeah, put it at the end for now.
Okay.
All right. So there you go. There's your A tier. Batman Who Laughs, Gotham by Gaslight, Arkham Knight, and then 89, the original one. So at the top three, here's your cream of the crop for today's picks. You have the Jim Lee Batman, Robert Pattinson, animated series, Christian Bale, and Batman Beyond.
I have my order.
I think Bales needs to move up.
In front of Pattinson.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy just
Battinson better not be moving down any farther than that, man.
You didn't even move to what we said.
Wait, I thought you said Batman Beyond.
We said Bale.
Oh.
Oh,
I swear I heard Beyond.
Yeah, that feels more okay. What's the better animated one though?
yeah. I think Beyond. Absolutely. that right there. I actually personally have Beyond in front of Pattinson, but
Really? Yeah, I mean, I can see it. It's
I can
unique,
see it, but
different. I could definitely.
I'm
agree
okay with
that.
this. I'm okay with this.
Hero, how do you feel about Beyond over Battinson?
yeah,
I feel like it should be there
do it.
just because of kind of similar tactical wise between Bale and
Yeah.
Pattinson. Beyond is unique.
It
Very
feels
unique.
right. This feels right, right, guys?
I mean, personally, I don't. The tier is right, but Jim Lee's bad.
I think that's the de facto Batman. I think
for me personally, it is.
no, I agree. I'm gonna say that I think the winner for like best Batman is Jim Lee's for this one. But again, I think there's something to be had minus the what the heck options. There's something to enjoy in all of these Batman suits.
All of them.
And it solidifies Batman and as having one of the best suit what's the word I'm trying to say? The best suit lineup.
Variants, options, lineup, yeah.
Other than Spider-Man, I think those are the two that are like up there. I don't think there's many other heroes that you can do this with. And like, for example, we can do a part 2 of this with still Batman suits. We can do a part 2 of this with Spider-Man, but I think Batman's special in that Spider-Man, a lot of them kind of play on similar themes, and Batman ones do too. But you look at a lot of these Batman designs, they're all vastly different. Like you don't look at any, and you don't see you see certain similarities, but they're always drastic differences.
Only character I would say when we went through and we were doing this, where you can tweak it and kind of see it reimagined to where it's okay. Like that's how good of a base character you have. Where something little here, something little there adds to a very nice element to this character. I think Spider-Man's a little bit harder to do that with. But Batman is just, man, A+. A+. 0.3 certified. If I had to ask you guys,
3 certified.
Bat Brando, you're still going through the Spider-Verse omnibus.
I am.
Seeing all the variants of Spider-Man that you've seen, how do you feel? Do you feel that who's got the better suit lineup?
You just look at the Funkos real quick too. Oh shit, that's a tough one.
Hero, do you have a
Dude,
thought?
I'm going Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say
There's
Spider-Man.
so many.
Spider-Man
Peter
mainly.
Parker only. Like Peter Parker versus Bruce Wayne. You gotta clarify that real quick.
What I will say is that Peter has had more like Peter specific suits that kind of are more drastically different, you know. Like you look at Future Foundation, you look at Superior Spider-Man, Captain Universe, Iron Spider, they're all super different. And Batman's base, he never really goes past his base except with like the Hellbat and like the Zur-En-Arrh. Those are really the like out there ones, and there's one or two more here and there, but there's drastic differences in his base suit, and I think he has that over Batman or over Spider-Man, where his base suits I think are always going to be cooler variants, where Spider-Man's aren't really base suits because when you look at like the multiverse of other Spider characters, they're just the same thing. They're the same suit most of the time. Except it's on a dinosaur or it's on a horse or it's on a cat, you know?
Yeah.
But Batmans are different every single time you see him.
So many other topics we can talk about that could spin off of this. Man. Okay.
Happy Batman.
There you have it. Yeah, happy
What a
Bat Week
kickoff
is
to it.
right. It's awesome.
Are you guys planning on seeing Dark Knight on Saturday?
Is that coming back?
Theater. Yeah, at least
I don't know if it's
in
going
select
to
theaters it's
be
coming
by me.
back.
I might have to
I
drive.
don't know
to see it.
either. I would love to see it in IMAX if they have an offering for it.
I don't know if it's going to be near me.
If they have a showtime for it.
Yeah, that'd be sweet to see.
Oh,
That would be. But like you guys said, happy Batman Week to everybody, to our 0.3 listeners. Everybody, if we missed a suit, let us know in the comments below, and we'll maybe do it in a part 2 where we maybe go and expand beyond just Bruce Wayne Batman. But let us know. Until then, follow us on our socials, our Instagram, our TikTok. And if you haven't yet, please join our Discord. Our links will be down below in the description. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. We appreciate all of you. But until then, keep watching, keep reading, keep nerding out, and have a great Batman week.